This money for this organization, and right now what we'd like to do is bring Mr. Velarde up here and just give you a few words from the Child Crisis Center. Ladies and gentlemen.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you again. It has been, I think, 4 years that I've been able to come to this breakfast and receive a really nice check in support of the work we do at the Child Crisis Center of El Paso. There was a newspaper article out yesterday. I don't know if some of you read it. I encourage you to look at it and take a look at what that article says. And what it's saying is that across the nation, including Texas, the child welfare system is failing our kids. And it's failing badly. And I can repeat words that even our state commissioner says. The system is broken. And there's a lot of work that's having to go into play to protect children in our community, but it's not easy work. Many children today are dying even after they're taken away from their parents and placed into foster care, and that's a big problem. We've seen that in the state of Texas. 2012, 2013, including one child who died at the hands of a foster parent here in El Paso. There's a lot of work going on right now in the state of Texas in order to fix the system. I'm on a committee in Austin that is overseeing what's called foster care redesign. And I just want to tell you briefly what occurred at that meeting that shows you how they sometimes see El Paso. And we were talking about El Paso because El Paso has the lowest rate of child abuse in the state of Texas. That's a good thing. In this meeting, though, which is about privatizing the foster care system, turning it over from the state to independent private contractors, they have the rule of 500. And the rule of 500 says that in order for it to be profitable for somebody to take up the local system, you have to have 500 kids annually going into the system. It's kind of sad. We have to count that now. In El Paso, we only have 350 children going into that system. So right off the bat, what that says is it's not going to make sense for somebody private to come in and take over El Paso because they can't make money at it. And we have this big argument. How are we going to treat El Paso? And mind you, again, this is a state meeting. This is a DFPS, Department of Family Protective Services meeting. And finally, one guy stands up and says, you know what? We need to send El Paso back to Mexico so we can fix this thing. And after my shock of hearing that statement in this meeting, I got up and I said, you know what? Instead of wanting to send us back to Mexico, maybe the state of Texas ought to look at El Paso and find out what we're doing right.
There you go.
What are we doing that's keeping kids out of the system? And let me tell you what we're doing. The Child Crisis Center. The Child Crisis Center is the only child protection agency that has a residential facility in the state of Texas that will take a child that is under a CPS investigation but yet has not been removed by court order. What does this mean to us? It means that the state does not pay for this child. We have to find the money to pay for 70% of the children that we take care of, 70%, who have an open CPS investigation, who are at risk because the investigator has asked the parent to voluntarily admit them into the Child Crisis Center of El Paso. If the Child Crisis Center did not exist, every one of those kids would be going into a failed foster care system.